I used to. Some days it takes me a minute or two, but the world keeps turning like it's meant to do. And time don't wait, it just carries you through. I've had good days,
Yeah.
and a few slip away. Had a few things work out a different way.
All right. All right. I love this song. I can almost let this play
And
all
you'll
through the
see
show,
it's
guys.
true.
Good morning and welcome to Senior Talks. I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh, still filling in for Miss Clara Hubbard. And we're here on WVON 1690 each and every Saturday. And today's conversation and guest is going to blow your mind. As a matter of fact, I'm so proud to have our special guest on today. But before I get to that, I want you to know that as a pre-senior myself, this show has been therapeutic for me. I have been able to get my mind right and share it with other people that are also pre-seniors and talk to people that are seniors about their journey in seniorhood. Um, I talked to quite a few caregivers. I want to say caregivers stand up because being a caregiver is not, I'm not going to say it's not easy. You know, it's not easy. It's not something that, let me explain what a caregiver feels like, looks like, or why it's so difficult. It's because in your life, you have managed to strategize your own life. If you've had children, you've kind of put them into the mix or into the fold of how your life is going to be. But there's an end point when they become adults. And when they become adults, you can kind of get back to your life. But then when you become a caregiver of someone else's life, no matter who that is, it could be a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, any relative, or even a child that needs caregiving until whenever. It can be, you don't know when the end of the tunnel is. You just don't. You don't know when the end of the tunnel is. So that's why caregiving is not as easy as it looks like on TV. However, transfer that over to also having a business. We're going to be talking to Miss Star Johnson. She is a floral company. She has a floral company called Ambassador Floral Company. The reason why I wanted to have her on the show is because she's 76 years old and she has had this floral company for over 20 years. And it's in Chicago. Now, it's not about promoting her business. It is about talking about how the business, she's working in her business all the time. I've never seen her get a day off. And she does it with a smile. Joining us on the live line. Oh, and later on, you're going to hear from Chicago Commons for our Chicago Commons segment. But joining us on the live line is Miss Star Johnson. Good morning, Star Johnson. Star, are you there? Okay, let me let the studio know. I sent her email or her phone number in the email that I sent. So let me go ahead and get that information to her. One moment. Anyhow, Senior Talks has given that type of freedom, that type of platform for me to be able to talk to the people that I can relate to, the seniors, the caregivers, you name it. I claim it. I'm telling you. It's so it's such an outlet for me because sometimes I feel like who cares about what you're going through when you're dealing with your father as a caregiver, when you're dealing with your mother remotely as a caregiver. Um, who cares? You go to the doctor's offices and you talk to them and they give you an update, and that's great. But who cares about the fact that you had to take off work to get there? Who cares that one person even told me, you only get one father. You only get one father. Well, I tell you what, you only get one chance to talk about what you're going through, and that's here on Senior Talks each and every Saturday. I think Star is on the line now. Hey, Star, I was just talking about you.
Oh, well, good morning and splendid Saturday to you.
Oh, wait, what did you call a Saturday?
It's splendid.
Splendid Saturday. I promise you, every time I talk to Miss Johnson, she has an alliteration for the day of the week. I think it was Fantastic Friday. You have Terrific
Yes,
Tuesday. What is
yes.
Monday? What is Monday?
Marvelous.
Marvelous Monday. How dare I not know
Yes.
that? Miss Johnson, you are an amazing soul. Do you?
Oh, thank you.
Wow. So I was just telling everyone, I'm not sure if you could hear it, but I was just telling
Mhm,
everyone a little bit about you and your journey in being a business owner at 76 years old and still working in your business. Miss Johnson, you have been on 110th and Halsted as Ambassador Floral Company. And the reason why I
mhm,
chose to have you on today or asked you to be on today is because
mhm,
that's a number where people are normally relaxing, going to get the paper, reading at the
mhm,
library. Not you.
mhm,
You're making
mhm.
you're making floral arrangements.
I'm making floral arrangements. I'm serving my community, and I'm also teaching the youth about life skills. So I say, hoorah!
I love it. You know, Miss Johnson, tell us about how you arrived at the decision to continue as a business owner working in your business at 76 years old.
Okay, yeah. Well, I just give you just a little bit background because I started, oh yeah, over 30 years ago, being a widow and having children and trying to decide now what am I going to do, you know? So for me, it's about being self-sufficient during that time. Now it's about passing the baton. I'm passing the torch. I'm study serving my community, study trying to help the community rebuild and revitalize. So that's what it's about today. You
Yeah.
know, moving forward, definitely investing in the youth, and our youth in the community is worth fighting for. The children deserve to bloom and blossom.
Oh, I love that. And that's a play on words when it comes to even flowers. What made you, we see such a gap in the youth and our seasoned elders. What made
Mhm.
you decide to pass the baton and work with the youth instead of, you know what, I'll leave that to the next generation?
Yeah, no, they can't do that. If you leave it to the next generation, for me, it's a personal thing. Somebody has helped me along the way, and it's my responsibility to help somebody else along the way. I feel we all have gifts that
Mhm.
really God has given us, and it's not for us to sit on the gifts. It's for us to pass the baton on to the next generation, like a relay race. And then it's up to them to accept it or reject it. But you know you've done your part. Mhm.
Many baby boomers get labeled as not passing the baton, as
Mhm.
going on with their lives and saying, "I got mine, you get yours." And your
Mhm.
your whole presentation is that you want to reach out to the youth, and that's what you're doing. What made you get into
Mhm.
the floral business 30 or 20 to 30 years ago?
Okay, what made me get into the floral business? Well, my mother, my grandmother would always have us sit on the porch, and we do flowers for Mother's Day. And then we had property on the west side. My grandparents would sell fruits and vegetables, and we had a garden, and we sell fruits and vegetables and flowers, looking at it now on our lot that we had. So that's just in me.
Wow.
We get up on Saturday and set the tables up, and my grandfather would be out there and he'd work at the water market and he'd bring vegetables and we sell to the community, and what we didn't sell, we would give to those that were in need.
Nice.
So looking back on that, and that's how we grew up, that life. You know, if somebody needed money for food or whatever, the community would come together and we would make sure that that need was taken care of. This is the part that I feel like we have really missed out on, you know, and then you don't know. So although that I can help through the youth and through the communities, then that's what I'm going to do at this point.
Miss Star, you mentioned becoming a widow while raising children and having to ask yourself, now what am I going to do? That's a question many people face after a major life change. What was going through your mind during that season in your life? You know, did you ever see yourself where you are now?
No, not at all. I would sit there and tell you the truth. I sit on my back porch and wait like Lazarus. I know he's coming back. But it got to the point, well, now what am I going to do? I'm a widow with small children. I have responsibilities. And which way, Lord, and I just kept praying, what am I going to do now? And it got to the point where I almost just gave up. And I said, oh, well, that's not an option, because then I don't know who's going to take care of mine, you know? So I had a meeting with my family, and I said something, because I didn't have a degree. I got credit, but it's not doing anything for right now. What is my gift that I can use to better me? So I kept my little day jobs, and anything that was in the floral industry, I took classes, I volunteered. Mr. Bell, he was on 79 for over a year. I volunteered. He did no pay, just volunteer to learn my craft. Anybody that would let me in school, I got to give credit to the Women's Self-Employment Program, because I took classes with them, and that's what helped start me on my journey. And, you know, my brothers and my family. And that's the truth. I started just around 5, 10 here and putting it aside. How can I get this equipment? What am I going to be able to do? And it's been an awesome, awesome journey. Still an awesome journey. Every day I get up, every day is a brand new day for me to start all over again. Brand new slate. Let's see what adventures I'm going to have today.
Yeah, it seems like that. And that's how you carry yourself as well. Now, you mentioned Mr. Who was that on 79th?
He was. He's passed on now. Mr. Bell. Bell.
What did he do?
And I used to volunteer for him. He let me come in his shop, which that doesn't happen.
What kind of shop did he have, Miss Star?
He had a floral shop.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
He had a floral shop, and he worked up under so many great masters that was in the business at that time. So he let me come in and volunteer, and so I learned other things, you know, other things within the floral industry. And I also learned how to, I know how to buy, sell, wholesale, retail, the whole gamut, the whole arrangement.
So your story with flowers, it actually began long before Ambassador Floral Company.
Not even realizing it.
Right.
You see how that seed was planted?
Yeah.
And I'd be fussing, get out here.
Wow. And see,
and my grandfather would be waking us up, and we had to set up.
Right.
In that lot, I'd be so upset. But, you know, at that time, you couldn't say anything. But look how that seed got planted.
I love it. Well, no pun intended. You talked about sitting on the porch with your grandmother and arranging
Uh-huh.
those flowers and helping your grandparents sell flowers, fruits, and vegetables. Did you realize then in those childhood moments, even though that was preparing you for the future, that you would want to pass that baton on to others?
Not at all. Not at all. Mm-mm. So that means we lifting up our own, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing that
Yeah.
stood out to me is that you shifted from building yourself to now being in the mindset of passing the baton. I always
Mm-hmm.
talk about that, how we either pass it or we drop it. At what point
Mm-hmm.
did you realize it was time for you to start pouring into the next generation?
I think, well, my brothers was talking to me, and then rather than for me to just let it go and just drop the baton, my mind frame, I have to pass the baton as long as I can pass the baton. As long as I have the race, the relay race, I'm going to pass the baton. And then that way, I feel like I'm planting the seeds, and somebody, like I tell all my youth that come in there, what I'm doing, I'm passionate, and it's your responsibility to help somebody else along the way.
I can't even believe I'm talking to you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really starstruck right now. Get it?
Mm.
Starstruck. We we have a caller. We got Mama D on the
Wonderful.
line. Good morning, Mama D. You're talking to Miss Star Johnson,
Mhm.
Ambassador.
Yes, I can hear the star in her too.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you so much, and good morning to you.
Yes, well, y'all got rising. As a hard mind damage survivor, age 75 to 84, I have been hearing uh, about this baby boomers, the ones that were born in the 40s, not
Mhm.
passing the baton. Now, they are the ones that got the Civil Rights and Voting Rights Bill passed.
Mhm.
They are
Mhm.
the ones that led the march on Washington. They are the ones that created the Motown
Oh, you
music.
breaking up,
When
Mama D.
people call
Mhm.
themselves Supremes and Miracles and Top and created Afro, first sign of pride that we had ever publicized to overcome all of that heart and mind damage of black, brown, Yell Miller, brown stick around, black get back, overcoming all of that. And our music.
Mama D, I want you to call back. I want to hear what she has to
Mhm.
say. Shapira, make sure we drop Mama D, and then I hope she can hear me and say, call back, Mama D. Definitely want her to call back. Because I hear I think I heard what she said. And she said what she said, right? So
Mhm.
if I'm what are your thoughts on when someone says, and let me know when she's back on, Shapiro. What are your thoughts on when someone says the baby boomers didn't pass the baton? And Mama D did mention a lot of headway and paths that were laid before us so that we can walk
Mhm.
through them. What are your thoughts? And I'll give you my thoughts on why I agree that the baton was not passed.
Well, yeah, the baton was not passed, but it's never too late to still pass the baton. A lot of baby boomers at this time, and when they come into the shop, I take a time out and talk to. Oh no, I didn't did that. Oh no, I don't have time for that. Oh no. Well, then if you look around when their time comes, what are they gonna do? And I always tell them, I'm sure if you take a minute out, you'll realize in your journey that somebody has helped you.
Yeah.
And you should honor those that have come before you and made easier your way.
Yeah. Mama D is
Find
back.
you a place to volunteer, start off. If it's in your garage, someplace, to
No
try
matter
to
where.
help you. Because they don't have the support we had. They don't have the values, the mindset that we have about survival.
Mhm. Mhm.
So how can they thrive? How can
Well,
they survive? And then you got to remember too, not only that, we had that Vietnam War, which a lot of our young men, what happened? Got drafted, was killed. That's your uncles, your grandsons, your fathers. And then a lot of them got incarcerated, you know?
Yeah,
So it's a
absolutely.
whole mass. It's generations that would have helped probably lay the foundation, but they weren't here. They're not here. They're
Mm,
gone.
they're gone.
So it's up to us. And a lot of times it's the women that has to do the backbone because the men have, they disappeared for whatever reason.
Mhm.
So we have to build stronger men, not cuddle them, baby them, because they are men. They boys now, but they're going to become men. They have to learn how to be responsible, especially here in this world.
I love it. I love it. Mama D is back on the line. Mama D?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it was going in and out terribly.
Okay. Our grandparents were in slavery because they were born before 1865. So we had that to overcome and deal with also. But our children, the ones that are in their late 50s and early 60s, like my daughter is 60 years old as of May 11th. And it is their group that came up with the crack cocaine generation and the me generation. They are the ones that didn't put anything on the table to pass it on to their grandchildren and children that are out here acting without values at that group. So I think we should get the language straight. It wasn't the ones born in the 40s that got everything that we have today and enjoy. It was because of our actions, not talking about what we didn't do. It's that age group. And so tell me about them. The millennials that was born in the 90s, they got grown children now.
Mhm.
What happened between those two groups? And tell me about the crack age.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, Mama D, and just in my opinion and what we have been talking about in different groups, if I may, there's a generational gap between the baby boomers and the next generation. And it seems to be the passing of the baton of values. Somehow the valuables got passed, I got mine, you get
You
yours.
get yours.
And getting yours looked something like getting it for yourself. But those family values did not get ingrained into that next generation, so much so we have so many single parent households. And those
Yes.
single parent households are very much so structured where they are always trying to chase a better life than what they had instead of holding on to the strength of the foundation of the family itself. That's what I mean by passing the baton, because there's nothing like we appreciate the paths, the doors that were kicked open, the pathways that were left, but that family value piece was really missing because it was almost passed down that you can do it on your own. You can do it by yourself. You can be independent. And I think that really broke the family structure, which broke the foundation of the community. And as our callers always say, is one in particular, the community code of conduct. Miss Starr, I want to
Can
give
I
you.
just say this one last thing?
Yes,
We
please.
had some media. Malcolm X said media was the most powerful entity on earth because it could make a guilty man innocent and an innocent man guilty because it controls the minds of the masses. Television told everybody how to live. We went from Father's Knows Best that had some values to Leave It to Beaver and Dennis the Menace. It wasn't that the baton wasn't being passed on. I'm talking about that group of the ones that became adults in the 70s and in the 80s and in the 90s. That's 3 generations of the gap, because what have they put forth? Except it's about me and it's about what I got. We didn't have that mentality. Our parents and grandparents were enslaved, and we overcame that. to have it all go down the hill. Tell me the name of the ones, in conclusion, that was born in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. That me generation educated by television.
Okay. Well, I have to let it rest because I can't speak for all, but I still stand on what I shared. I think that, because I was born from a baby boomer, and so were many, obviously my generation, we were born from baby boomers, and we have struggled. And I don't want to take the conversation away from the celebration of how Miss Star Johnson has really pushed through as a senior, pushed through being a business owner, and still in it, and now trying to pass the baton possibly to a generation that doesn't even know what to do with it. That's really
Right, that's true. That's true.
that you can sit down with them. It's kind of like we have to rebuild relationship.
There you go.
I don't understand how people feel entitled to talk to the younger generation any old kind of way, right? You know why? Because our generations before us talked to us any old kind of way, and we had to respect. But that's because they had a relationship of some sort with us in order to do so. And then when those relationships were broken, again, the broken families, okay, the broken structure of the community,
the dynamics totally has changed.
Absolutely, the dynamics change. And now, because when there's no relationship, I can't talk to a younger person any old kind of way, or the way that I was brought up to understand and receive. They're like, get out of here. You're not my mother, or you're not, who are you? Get out of my face.
Then you pull the gun on you want.
Absolutely, because there's no relationship. So, Miss Star Johnson, I would love for you to take the floor because we only have a few more. Let me see. Yeah, we only have 4 more minutes to have
well, let me say this.
Yes.
I thank God for the insight moving forward to the future. Okay.
I love that.
I want to continue to be a kingdom builder and be a memory builder. And hopefully not only have the youth learned from me, but I learn from them every day. And that keeps me going too. So I'm thankful for that. And I just want to have them for the rest of my life, however long. Whether I'm here or there, I'm going to be trying to help. She's definitely right about what has happened in the past, but what can we do to make it better for the future? That's the question. What are we doing? What are the seniors doing besides sitting on the and going to the boat, or oh, woe with me, or I did that? It's always something to be done in God's kingdom, in a good and kind way, and to be able to do it. So I'm thankful for that. I'm so thankful for the journey that I've had, the downfalls, the ups and downs, the hills and valleys. And I'm just say, hoorah, I'm still here.
I tell you what, and I think I'm going to stop right there at Ambassador Floral Company. Now, the reason why I felt comfortable bringing you on with your business sense is because in your business, you have been there for a long time. And I've come for quite a few times. As a matter of fact, Sale Dunlap, he came over and he gave a little bit of a facelift over there. And we want to give a shout out to him. But not only that, I love the fact that, flowers can never be replaced by AI or automation. Flowers are something you like.
Drones.
It cannot be replaced by technology. Only the way that you get the flowers can be replaced by technology.
There you go.
And I love the fact that you have chosen something that makes people smile. Even there's a high profile funeral taking place today with League Jr. And lo and behold, I know that people always need to grab flowers. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for this conversation.
And my condolences to the Leaks family too while we're on,
Yes.
But I'm just so, and I'm just, as the Lord continue to have me, I'm in such a great spirit. I'm looking forward to doing even more with our community and the youth. And I thank you too so much. Okay.
Of course, of course. And you know what? Like I said, I'm coming down there. It's time for me to get my visit on. And I love what you're doing in the community. I do.
Okay. Looking forward to it. Okay.
All right.
Looking forward to
Thank you.
seeing
Thank
you.
you. All
And
right.
I thank you, baby, so much.
Of
Y'all
course.
got to go now. Y'all have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Guess what tomorrow's gonna be?
What is it gonna be?
Well,
What's it gonna be?
it's gonna be a spectacular Sunday. Woo woo! Love you now. I
Love
saw.
you more. This is great. All right, guys. Thank you. We want to thank Miss Star Johnson. Wish her continued success with working with the youth. The floral business is not what you think. It can be a struggling business, okay? Because people go to the online services, and I saw this floral company, and someone asked me, Black owned floral companies, where are they? I looked her up and I realized that I had a business just down the street from her and have purchased from her in the past. But the traffic is not what you think. No, it can be a lot better. And I have offered to help anyone who needs my help because my background is in marketing. And some businesses just don't have that. So, but as you can see, the spirit and the love is there. We're definitely going to get them onto a brighter day when it comes to reaching out to the community. I love the young people she has in there. And actually, I have a meeting that I need to set up with them very soon. So, to our listeners, if there's one thing we've learned today, is that the baton isn't meant to be held forever. It's meant to be passed along with the instructions, people. Don't just give it to them and go. Give them the instructions. And that includes values and not just valuables, whether it's knowledge or kindness, opportunity. That's what we need to be passing those batons. So now it's time for our Chicago Commons segment. You know, Chicago Commons has been serving families, children, and seniors in our community for generations. And today we're focusing on something every person needs, regardless of age, and that's human connection. Let's go to our interview or our conversation with Terrence Santos de la Rosa Simms. He's the Vice President of Senior Services at Chicago Commons.
More from Clara Hubbard and Senior Talk coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey, Chicago, are you looking for a place where your loved one can receive the care and support they deserve? Chicago Commons offers adult day services in the heart of Bronzeville, providing a vibrant and caring community center for seniors and adults with disabilities, and that includes meals, transportation, and engaging activities. We also offer a home care program throughout the Chicagoland area that ensures your loved ones get the support they need right at home. If you're interested in Chicago Commons Senior Services, where compassionate care meets your community, call us today at 773-373-5055.
All right, guys, you know it's time for us to have our very special conversation with Terrence Santos de la Rosa Simms with Chicago Commons. He is the Vice President of Senior Services. How are you doing, Terrence?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing swell-tastic, as they say. This week, I know last week, we really got a chance to peer into your relationship with your own family, which was really, really had a nice touch. And now this week, how important is companionship? This really brings us to how seniors can have a detachment when no one comes by to see them or say hello. But why is why is companionship so important for seniors? And how does it impact their overall health and quality of life?
Companionship is much more than just having someone to spend time with. It's about feeling connected, valued, and understood. As we age, life circumstances often change. Retirement, the loss of spouse or friends, changes in mobility, and children moving away can all contribute to feelings of isolation, meaning companionship helps fill that void. Research consistently shows that seniors who maintain strong social connections tend to experience better emotional well-being, lower rates of depression, improved cognitive function, and even better physical health. But beyond the statistics, companionship reminds us that we still matter. and that it gives us someone to laugh with, share memories with, and create new experiences with. Human connection is not a luxury. It's a necessity of every stage of life.
I like how you put that. Just earlier this week, I met a 75-year-old woman that graduated with her PhD. And well, actually, she'll be graduating today. But the beauty of that is that it's never too late. What are some common misconceptions about love, dating, and companionship among older adults?
One of the biggest misconceptions, at least as I see it, is that the desire for love and companionship somehow disappears with age. Nothing could be further from the truth. While the expression of love may evolve, the need to connect with others remain a fundamental part of being human. Another misconception is that relationships among older adults are only about romance. In reality, companionship can take many forms. It may be a close friendship, a trusted neighbor, a caregiving companion, or in this case, maybe, even a romantic partner. What matters most is having meaningful relationships that bring joy, comfort, and support. Many people assume seniors should simply accept loneliness as a part of aging. I say no to that. I strongly disagree. Loneliness should never be considered a normal or inevitable part of growing older. Every person deserves connection, belonging, and the opportunity to build relationships that enrich their lives.
Yeah, it is inevitable, but we've talked a lot about the challenges that come with aging. Those health challenges are the main thing that people think about. Retirement is something that I did with my dad, and I'm not even retirement age. And losing loved ones is something you just mentioned recently, and adjusting to new chapters in life. One issue that doesn't get talked about enough is what we're talking about today, and that's the loneliness. So many seniors that find themselves spending more time alone may want to figure out where can they find new friendships, new creative, meaningful social connections, and even opening their hearts to companionship and love for later in life.
Well, the first step is recognizing that it's never too late to open your heart to new possibilities. Building relationships often begins with taking small steps and being intentional about those steps. Join a senior center, participate in community activities, volunteer, attend faith-based gatherings, or explore hobbies that bring you joy. It's important to remember that meaningful relationships often start with a simple conversation. A friendship formed over a shared interest can become a powerful source of support and companionship. For those considering dating after loss or divorce or years of being alone, I encourage them to be patient with themselves. There is no timeline for healing or opening your heart again. The goal isn't to replace someone that you love, which can be very difficult, especially if you've been with somebody 30, 40, 50 years, but it's to create a space for new connections and experiences. Love is not limited by age. It is expanded by our life experience.
I can't let you off the hook like that, Terrence, because if we're taking steps towards building new friendships, where can they take those steps towards building new friendships? Because now I'm thinking about all the grandmothers out there or the seasoned individuals that are looking for companionship. Should they be on a dating app? Should they be on a meetup app? I mean, what do you suggest?
Well, I guess there's many vehicles. Me, myself, personally, dating apps. I hear about them, but I've never been a part of those things. But I'm sure they have some dating apps for seniors. One thing that sounds probably traditional and typical in some sense is that a lot of seniors attend bingo night. Bingo has really become a big thing throughout the years. And singles there, various senior centers where gatherings come together for purposes of socializing, playing games, whether that's during the day, going to a facility to have breakfast. They have senior breakfasts, they have senior lunches, senior dinners. I think all of these places are places where you can actually meet new people and have conversations. So I think it could be anywhere. I don't think it's just exclusive to seniors. There are many ways that all ages of people can actually discover, new friendships and potential partners in any companionship in some capacity.
I love that. Well, as we get older, society often sends the message that certain chapters of life are behind us. Now, that includes love and adventures and meaningful friendships, but many seniors are proving every day that some of life's most fulfilling moments happen after retirement and after loss and after major life transitions. So for seniors that may believe they're too old to find companionship, they discover a new sense of purpose or even fall in love again, what message of hope and encouragement would you like to share with them?
That's a good question. My response to that, my message is simple. You are never too old to be loved, and you are never too old to love. Every chapter of life offers opportunities for connections, growth, and joy. Age does not diminish your worth. Your ability to contribute or your capacity to form meaningful relationships, they don't die. In fact, many older adults discover some of their deepest friendships and most fulfilling relationships later in life because they have gained wisdom, perspective, and a greater appreciation for what truly matters. LaDonna, I know you mentioned a couple segments back that, you don't believe in no new friends. I know that's a running joke, and there's a rapper that talked about that. But I encourage every senior that's listening today to remain open to new people, new experiences, and new possibilities. Your story is still being written. There are conversations you haven't had, friendships that you haven't formed, moments of joy you haven't yet experienced. The heart does not retire. It continues to seek connection, purpose, and love throughout our lives. And as long as we are alive, as far as I'm concerned, there's always an opportunity to give and to receive the gift of companionship. And if I would close that out with, one of the greatest myths about aging is that life somehow becomes smaller. The truth is that life can continue to expand through relationships, purpose, and love. We all want to be seen, heard, valued, and connected, whether through friendship, family, community, or romance. Companionship reminds us that we are never meant to walk life's journey alone. No matter your age, your heart it still has the capacity to connect and to inspire and to love.
So in other words, your life is not over. There's still purpose, connection, and joy ahead.
Absolutely.
Well, Terrence, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your insight on the importance of staying connected as we age. We really appreciate the incredible work that Chicago Commons continues to do to help seniors stay active, engaged, how about connected throughout the community as well. Where can people find Chicago Commons if they want to get more information?
You can give us a call at 773-373-5055 or look us up on the web at www.chicagocommons.org.
Thank you so much, Terrence Santos, de la Rosa Simms with Chicago Commons, and not just with them. You are the Vice President of Senior Services, so you know what you're talking about.
That's right.
All right, guys.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's your granddaughter in the community, Clara Hubbard with Senior Talk on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, guys, we only have we have a few more minutes left. But I wanted to give you, I wanted to welcome you back. Shout out to Clara Hubbard. I know she's doing well. As we settle into this summer, because the first day of summer is I think it's June 21st. It's the longest day of the year. I want to encourage our seniors and caregivers to make the most of these longer days. I always say, I got so many summers behind me. I want the rest of my summers to be the bomb. Okay. But with those warmer temperatures comes responsibility. Check on your loved ones. Don't assume that they're okay because they don't want to bother you a lot of times, but make sure that the temperature in their homes are adequate and that it's a healthy temperature. I have an aunt that passed away, and I'm not trying to bring on death, okay? But my aunt was about 70. She passed away a few years ago because the house was too hot. The heat, the thermostat broke. Somehow you had to do something specific to it. And she was sitting at the kitchen table drinking her cup of coffee, and everything was still sitting on the table, and she passed away. She was found that way hours later. So I'm here to tell you that no matter if you're a senior or even a caregiver, to make sure those temperatures are right. Summer's just a wonderful time to reconnect with having fun, especially in Chicago, because when it's cold, it's cold. Nobody wants to do anything. I don't want to go out there in it. Okay. But also reconnect with yourself, with your elders. Let them know you love them. Consider anybody, even a care group. If you're a caregiver or a senior, consider joining a walking group. I see a man that walks in my neighborhood every single day with a stick in his hand. His grass is also immaculate. His home on the outside is beautiful. It looks like he lives there. So he is not only taking care of his home, he's taking care of himself, his body, his health. Walking with that stick says that he wants to be around for a long time for his family, and he's taking the steps to do so. Feel free to visit a local park, attend the community festivals, take a fitness class. I just went to what was it called? Martial arts studio yesterday. I was inquiring for my boyfriend, but I might join because I was looking like, I got some moves and I really want to strengthen the muscles because they tend to realize that we're getting older and they say, okay, well, you don't need as much muscle anymore. Well, if you don't use it, you won't rebuild it. So I'm saying, hey, take a fitness class. And there are senior services and senior centers everywhere. I see them more and more now. It's like buying a car and you didn't notice it before. And when you get one, you notice all of them. Well, now that I've been working with my dad and my mom, I see senior everything. I was at Chipotle the other day and I saw a senior healthcare facility. I'm like, what does that mean? But okay, I started to go in there. Visit museums. Those exhibits change, they rotate. Visit museums during free admission days. They have them, especially for seniors, or simply spend time with friends and family. I noticed that the other day or yesterday. I was intentional about spending time with my boys because I'm always on the go. And I said, nope, we're going to go. I let my son drive and well, he almost killed us, but we're still here. No, he didn't almost kill us. He just made a minor mistake and it was harmless, but he learned from it, I'm sure. Don't underestimate the power of a phone call, a shared meal, or a conversation on the porch. I used to get upset when someone would ask, how's your father? When I would go over to his house and I say, have you rung his doorbell? That's my smart mouth. But in my mind, I'm thinking, if you really want to know how my dad is doing, ring the doorbell. Call him. You live right next door. Okay. Or you live right across the alley. And when he was driving, you all were having truck conversations. Go ahead and ring the bell and say, hey, man, I ain't seen you in a minute. How's everything going? He may want some of that 4th of July barbecue. I don't know. That's just me. When you become a caregiver, you become very, I guess, you become like a helicopter mom all over again. But just as a caregiver, just remember to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Look into respite care services. If you're not sure what that is, I found out on the job. I found out when I was working at the Alzheimer's Association. When you need a break, there are facilities that will allow your loved ones to stay there for a few days while you just regroup or spring clean, deep clean, whatever. Take a walk, take a trip, something. Caregiver support groups, they're out there, adult day service programs, and community organizations that can provide assistance and support. You don't have to do it alone. You're not alone. There's plenty of us, okay? And if you need help navigating senior services, transportation, meal programs, wellness programs, or caregiver resources, organizations like Chicago Commons is your go-to. That is a place, your local area agency on aging, the Department of Aging. Look up the word senior and do a search. They're everywhere. And as a senior, if you need help or you need to move, you got to make a quick decision, something, call your church. Somebody knows everything, okay? Somebody knows something. Call your local church and say, hey, listen, I'm a senior. They want you to come. They want you to be a part of their church family, and they're going to help you, all right? All right. Before we continue and end, we want to extend our heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, and loved ones of Spencer Lee Jr. His impact on Chicago and the many families he served will not be forgotten. Our thoughts and prayers are with every mourning person during his passing and during this difficult time. And as a reminder, WVON and Von TV, I should say definitely Von TV, will be streaming the funeral services for Spencer Lee Jr. beginning this morning at 10 a.m. If you're unable to attend in person but would like to pay your respects and celebrate his life, you can join us on Von TV for the live stream. That's VON.TV, or you can go to Roku, Amazon Plus. I think I'm saying it. And I'm trying to do it off memory. But you can go to these different places to get Von TV. And you can also download the WVON app, and it'll take you right to Von TV. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. LaDonna Raeh in the building. Actually, I'll see you in an hour at 9:00 for the Wake Up Show Chicago. But we love you, seniors. And I'm LaDonna Raeh, a pre-senior. That's it. That's all. That's all I got for now. Bye-bye for now.
And a few slip away. Had a few things work out a different way. But you live long enough, and you'll see it's true. The things worth keeping take time to come through.